Hey guys again YouTube, this is SilverBeanie here, bringing you guys week 6 of our Pokemon UBL Season 1 team building series. The Crystal Palosssands are this week taking on the Chicago SHAYMIN-SKYs. I believe I got that right. I almost said something completely different there, but it is the Chicago SHAYMIN-SKYs and Coach SareneGrace, who has got a very, very scary, threatening team, which we are going to be discussing a little bit. You can kind of see it brewing over here on your right. It's very scary. A lot of dangerous hits that we're going to be discussing, and we're going to have to face in this match. But if you guys are hyped and excited for today's team, definitely hit that like button. So far, we are 1-4. Last week, if you missed it, definitely check it out. But the Crystal Palosssands picked up their first W of the season. We had a really, really rough start. And last week we picked up our first W, which was amazing. Very, very awesome match. I'm so pleased with how we built the team, how we handled the team, how we handled the battle. So pleased with everything. Came out really well. So if you did miss it, definitely go and check it out. If I remember, I'll include up in the tag up top if you want to check it out. But this week we've got another scary match, and this one is probably one of the top 3 teams at the entire season, out of all the drafts. Of all the coaches that have the scariest team. But this was one team that I am not looking forward to facing. There's a couple others, which unfortunately one of which is next week's match, so we'll look forward to that. But this is one team I'm not looking forward to. I think we felt prepared as much as we can, so hopefully it's enough. But let me talk you through my opponent's team. We got the Mew, as you can see. Mew, just destruction. Mew is also their Z-move user. Very scary, base 100 across the ball. It can use any move, pretty much. It's got every access, you know, it can be defensive, it can be offensive. You could use it as a hazard setter, you can use it as a hazard remover, you can use it as like a toxic stall, you can use it as a sweeper, all kinds of things. It's scary. It's very, very tricky to prepare for. I feel like I've got enough. I feel like I've got enough sort of support on my team for this thing, so I'm not too worried about it. What I'm more worried about whether it's going to be offensive or defensive. Because once I know, then I've got whatever, which I know who I need to use for what. So that is going to be very crucial. We need to find out whether it's offensive or defensive, or maybe a bit in between. Who knows? But Mew's going to be very scary. Definitely got prepared for that. They've also got the Arcanine. Arcanine, another very scary mon. Base 95 speed, 90 HP, 110 in net attack, and 100 in special attack. This thing is very tricky, very fast, got quite good bulk as well, base 80 across both its defenses. It's got a really good ability with Intimidate as well, lowers my attack by 1 stage. And obviously if he switches it in, then that's going to be in a difficult position. Typically this thing's usually run maybe like Choice Banded, like with like extreme speed, close combat, crunch, or flare blitz, wild charge, etc. It's got a nice decent wide variety. Problem is with this thing is it's also got Flash Fire, which is another thing that I mean, I don't expect Flash Fire because obviously when would you really hit this thing with Fire type move? But it's a thing to be prepared for, I guess. But it can also be used as like a defensive mon, you know, with Will-O-Wisp, Protect, I think it's like Roar and Morning Sun, things like that. So it can really be a bit tricky to prepare for. So we've got to keep an eye out for that. They've also got the Glade. No, they don't have a Glade. They have a Mega Glalie. Mega Glalie is obviously their Mega. Very, very scary compared. Like a regular Glalie is just base 80 across the ball. Mega Glalie, nah. Base 80 and it's all its defenses, including HP, but then base 120 in both attacks, and then base 100 in speed. This thing, how it's like, I mean, I'm looking at it now. It's apparently in RU. Well, gone to here. How, I don't know. Why this thing isn't like in OU? I guess just because it's an ice type and ice has quite a lot of weakness. But this thing is scary. It gets the ability to refrigerate, which turns any normal type move into a ice type move. So returns do a lot. Things like Earthquake is typically used as well. Explosion's another one, because obviously Explosion being a normal type turns it into an ice type. A Stab Explosion is gonna most likely kill something. So we've got to keep an eye out for that. I'm very scared of that. They've got the Sizzle. Sizzle I'm not too worried about. I've got a lot of counters to Sizzle, plus we pretty much handled a Mega Sizzle a few weeks back, and we kind of walled it to an extent. So, well, we walled the Sizzle, but we still lost that match, but we walled the Sizzle. So Sizzle I'm not too worried about. I've just got to not let it set up. If it sets up, then it gets tricky. But I've made preparations, so we should be fine. I'm not too worried about Sizzle, but obviously if it gets Stab, Bullet Punch, gets Defog as well to be prepared for. knock off a few things, obviously standard sets. One of the most annoying things in this team that I really must get rid of is the Porygon. Cannot let that Porygon start setting up if it wants to do that, but I have to get this thing's items knocked off as soon as. If I don't get rid of this thing's item like as soon as possible, this thing can forever toxic storm me. It can just toxic recover, protect, storm me like for days. I've done a few sort of test matches with this thing, and I tell you now, if I don't knock off this thing's item, it's gonna just wall me. It walls my entire team. Even like a super effective super power thing does about 20%. Like with the ADELAIDE, it's so bulky. I have to get rid of its ADELAIDE as soon as possible. If it wants to set up a trick room, fine, be annoying, but I cannot let this thing start toxic thunder waving, you know, recover stalling me for days, because I cannot let that happen. It has to get knocked off, has to be get rid of as soon as. Next we've got the Noivern. Noivern is a very scary mon. It's one of my favorite mons. It's not very good on the defensive side, base 80 in both defenses and then 85 in HP, base 123 though in speed. This thing is actually their fastest Pokemon across their entire team. Obviously barring like scarves and things like that. I don't expect this thing to be scarfed. I expect it to most likely be carrying things like maybe, I don't know, leftovers, maybe choice specs, things like that, or life orb maybe. I don't see it running Scarf. If they do run Scarf, then they clearly are trying to make sure that they guarantee to outspeed me when I run a Scarf. So, yeah. But I don't expect it to be Scarfed. Break Media, Hurricane, Flamethrower, Roost, standard sets. Very scary and very annoying. So we've definitely got to be careful around that. Moving on now to the Drapion. Now the Drapion's another scary mon. Base 95 speed, base 90 attack, and 110 defense. Drapion was one of the Pokemon that I really wanted to get on my team, but it was sniped. This thing is very tricky. I'm expecting it to most likely be carrying either a Choice Scarf or leftovers, or maybe if they want to do it, like maybe a more bulky set, like physically bulky. Because this thing obviously kind of doesn't really do well against things like a Crocodile. One Earthquake, and this thing is dead. So I expect him to bring it. Maybe also with an air balloon as well. Got to be prepared for that. Keep an eye out for it. So we've definitely got to keep our eyes peeled. Obviously, this thing does get things like knock off. Obviously, you've got Swords Dance, Poison Jab. Very scary set. It gets Earthquake as well, which is kind of wild. We definitely got to keep our eyes out for that Drapion. Moving on now to the Hitmontop. Obviously, it's their spinner. Not too worried about this thing. Its defense is out the wall, but like literally it's crazy. But HP is non-existent. Speed's quite slow. Base 95 in attack as well, so not too crazy. But rapid spin, toxic, muck punch, close combat, standard sets. This thing can be a bit pretty defensive. Just got to get rid of it as soon as. I'm not bringing rocks, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I'm not bringing rocks. I didn't see the point because they've got quite a few hazard removers. But I'm bringing hazard remover myself, just so they don't. But we'll get on that in a minute. The Gardevoir is another scary thing. Most likely going to be Scarfed because it's not the fastest thing, but it is very, very offensively powerful. And it's got a lot of special defense as well. So I'm expecting it to be Scarfed, more than likely. But obviously base 125, base 115, and it's the special attack and the special defense, base 80 speed. Psyshock, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, like all kinds of scariness. So definitely going to be prepared for that. I'm expecting the Gardevoir to be brought, definitely. Knowing that I have Crocodile and a Mega Gyarados, which I've brought pretty much the last like 2-3 weeks. And they're two of my hardest hitting members of my team. I expect this thing to come. Like Gardevoir to an extent kind of walls my team. One way or another it gets something to cover whatever it wants to go up against. So we got to be careful around Gardevoir. Raichu, I'm not too worried about. Raichu is very, very defensively weak. Obviously it's very fast, base 110 speed, base 90 special attack, nothing to be like laughing about. If he gets a nasty plot off, then we're going to be in trouble. Things like Hidden Power Ice, Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, scary things, but honestly not worried about this thing. As long as I can get it withered down, I'm not too worried. The only thing I am worried about is Lightning Rod, because if I want to go for a stab Thunderbolt or Thunder or whatever, I don't want this thing gaining Lightning Rod, so like boosting itself. So gotta keep my eyes open for that, but who knows. But they've also got a Seismitoad, which is one of the trickiest things to deal with, because I've had to really kind of over-prepare for this thing to an extent. I kind of expect it to be brought as literally the wall to my electric types. But at the same time, they may not bring it, so I'm kind of had to really work around it. But Seismitoad is their only ground type with Water Absorb, like Swift Swim, want to do rain or whatever, poison touch. Most likely this thing, if it comes, is going to be defensive. Very rarely are these things offensive unless it's swim. But Earthquake, Skull, Toxic, Stealth Rocks, very standard stuff. But I'm not expecting it to be crazy. Right, we've rambled on enough now about my opponent's team. My team now, otherwise we'll be here forever. My team. We've got Gasteric, our beautiful Galvantula. Absolutely destroyed last week's match. Won our MVP by far. This week, similar set. We're rocking Life Ball, Thunder, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz, and Energy Ball. Max speed, max special attack. This thing is designed to kind of pretty much come in like last minute and just stop sweeping things out. Like we can Thunder, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz, Energy Ball. To an extent, most of this team is going to do some serious work. So I'm very, very excited to bring Gasteric to the team. Obviously, I can't let him set up rocks. But Gasteric's going to be amazing. I'm not leading with Gasteric this week either, even though we are bringing Volt Switch. Very predictable to lead Galvantula. I'm not guaranteed this. I've got a better play. We'll come across that in a second. Up next, we've got Lumiere, our beautiful Chandelure. So far, rocking the top score on kills. I believe it has 5 kills so far, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering that we had a very, very rough start to the league, it's really good for me. And then Gasteric's not short far behind. But this week, pretty much stands set as every week. This week, we're bringing back the Scarf, Flash Fire, obviously, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Sidekick, and Hidden Power Ice. That Hidden Power Ice is designed to could be outspeed the Noivern, and we guarantee one-shot it, providing it's not defensive. If it is defensive, it's guaranteed 2-hit KO without questions, and we live whatever he wants to do, unless he gets something crazy and hits like a Draco Meteor and does some serious damage. If he is defensive, that's the only way that we will live. Otherwise, he destroys. But I don't expect it to be offensive, more likely offensive, and Hidden Power Ice Oko. Sidekicks for that hit on top. Guaranteed 2-hit KO. Flamethrower is putting it for most of his team, and then Shadow Ball is also coverage for most of his team. To an extent, this thing can't really touch the Porygon too well, so we can't really stand against that, but we have counters for the Porygon. Up next, we've got Red Storm, our beautiful Mega Gyarados. This week, with Waterfall, Iron Head, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance. We're not bringing Crunch. I didn't see the point of bringing a Dark-type move, although he does have the Mew. And the Gardevoir. The Gardevoir is neutral, but against the Mew, it'll be useful. But Waterfall is, I think, would be better. Plus, I've got a lot of other coverage. You know, I've got Bug type moves, I've got Ghost type moves, I've got Dark type moves. I've got a lot of coverage for the Mew, so I didn't see the point. I thought Iron Head would be more useful. It hits that, what do you call it? Glalie, and it hits the Gardevoir as well very hard. So Earthquake as well for like things like Raichu and the like all sorts. We've got a lot of options, and obviously the Drapion as well. And Waterfalls for like the Arcanine, various others. So very excited. 252 an attack, 252 in speed, standard, maxly offensive, get damage off, start destroying souls. We're also bringing back Mr. Gold, our beautiful, beautiful shiny Crocodile. Choice Scarf this week, obviously, with Intimidate, with Earthquake, Knockoff, Super Hand, Stone Edge. My plan was to actually, by the way, also to lead with Gyarados. That's my plan. I know that I really discussed it, but that's my plan. But Mr. Gold is here. Really, again, as kind of a late game sweeper. I didn't want to bring Moxie this week, purely because he has the Arcanine. He has a lot of offensive hitters, like Arcanine, the Glalie, the Scizor, Drapion, the Hitmontop, and maybe the Size of a Toad, or maybe the Mew, depending on how they want to bring it. I thought Intimidate would be far better. Plus, we can 2-hit KO. Well, we guarantee Oko the Arcanine. God, I'm losing the words. Guarantee Oko the Arcanine, and if obviously we get intimidated, it's guaranteed 2-hit KO. Plus, we get to intimidate them. So it's, you know, I just thought we'd be better. Knockoff is obviously for everything. You can get rid of some items, and superpowers really for that Porygon. Get rid of that Porygon as soon as possible. This week's slightly spread out set. We've got 52 in speed. That is just to kind of like just so we can outspeed a few things, just so we can kind of sit more positive side. And also rocking. What else we got? 196 in special defense, and then max attack, and then the odd little bit. Nothing crazy. But I'm very excited to bring Mr. Gold back. We're also bringing back Bread Knife, also claiming a very nice MVP spot over the last couple of weeks since we brought it. Very, very pleased I picked up this thing. It's been an absolute, like, amazing member to the team. Having the steel type, so good finally. Shadow Sneak, Iron Head, Sacred Sword, and Sword Stance. Standard, simple, keep it classic. Really, this thing kind of just rules everything. We are going to be in a very tricky spot against the Arcanine though. A Flare Blitz, depending on how his investment works, pretty much Oko. We've got to be careful that if that Arcanine comes in, we got to get the heckles out of there. So other than that though, we kind of just one-shot everything to an extent. If we can get +1 on things, we can start really hitting some stuff hard. So it's going to be good. Bread Knife's going to be amazing. If I can get a Sword Dance off, we're going to be smashing some souls. Very excited to be bringing this thing. Last but not least, we have beautiful Destiny, our Tapu Fini. Obviously rocking the leftovers and the Moonblast, Hidden Power Fire, Knockoff, and Defog. I'm bringing back the Knockoff. I'm so happy I'm bringing back Knockoff. Knockoff, I love having Knockoff on Tapu Fini. It's so unexpected and it works so well. We are bold nature, so we are negative attack, but that Knockoff, oh man, I love bringing Knockoff. I love it. Moonblast obviously there just to boost damage, stab. Didn't see a point we bring the water type move, purely just because a lot of this and into the point. Hidden Power Fire is there for that sizzle, guarantees 2 hit KOs, and we live guarantee 2 bullet punches. So we're going to be sitting prettier than the sizzle, so we can just start Okoing it. The Defog is there also as a secondary option against the Porygon, because my switching to Porygon is my Fini. Because if that Porygon wants to start hitting me with Toxics and Thunder Waves, with a Fini's ability, it ain't touching me. It ain't touching me. Misty Surge comes in, no status conditions. Absolutely awesome. And then Defog's there if he wants to set up some rocks or toxic spikes or whatever he wants to do. So ain't that happens. So Defog's there so we can get rid of whatever hazards he wants to get rid of. We're rocking max HP, a little bit in defense, and then the rest in his good death. But that's our team. Kind of rushed through that. I apologize if you didn't catch it all. But that is our team. Very, very excited actually for the team. Very confident. Again, I've recently I think our first 4 matches was like I was getting more confident each week, like with our team and stuff. We definitely started making better plays, but unfortunately we just missed out here and there. Last week was an amazing match. I think we won 4-0 as the overall score, as the differential. I think we bought Cresselia last week, never even entered the battlefield. It was definitely a really good week last week, and this week I'm hoping it's going to be another one like that. Hoping for a W. And I really hope we can start going on a winning streak. We are, like, at this stage, I think we're joint now as the lowest ranking team at this stage. After this match, who knows, we could maybe jump up the board a little. We've gone from being right down to the bottom to now all of a sudden people are worried. So we can definitely really hopefully come up with a W tomorrow. But as I say, let me know if there's any thoughts that you guys have with this team, if there's any adjustments you think I should have made. You know, if you think I should have put maybe, oh, you should have bought this move for this Pokemon, or actually you should have bought this for that. Let me know. But I didn't see the point of me bringing the Cresselia this week. Too many hard hitters, plus the Drapion, didn't see the point. You know, what else did we bring? I didn't see the bring up. See, Komodo, I loved Komodo, but Komodo just hasn't. Komodo just doesn't fit this team again because it's got too many good hitters. What else did we bring? We didn't bring the Golbat. I didn't see the point in Golbat. Not this week. Cradilly, not this week. As much as Cradilly has been really putting in the works, I just thought this week there was no point because Cradilly has really kind of just been a lead sacker. Do you know what I mean? So we're not going to bring that. Exploud, I really wanted to bring Exploud. They got a lot of defensive walls, especially defensive walls. So I didn't really see the point in bringing. But this is our team, as I say. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you are hyped, get that thumb tickling. Give it a like. Highly appreciated. Subscribe if you are new. Match goes up tomorrow, guys. I'm your coach of the Crystal Palossans, and my name is SilverBeanie, and I'll catch all your beautiful people next time.